there were there were many moments which were very amusing. I can't remember rolling around on the floor laughing, but I remember in Korea, and we had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get a flight to Japan. And Rafa had said to us, we've got to be ready to leave by 4:30. So I was sharing with Stefano, and we woke up and we were all there ready, bags packed. And then at 4:45, Rafa burst out of his room and said, what time is it? What time is it? It's 4:45. Oh my God, oh my God. And he was panicking, and everyone was coming out of rooms because me and Stefano were the only ones to come out of the room. And Gerard was left behind and no one had woken him up, and it was just chaos. And eventually we all got to the airport and we got on the flight, and I think maybe that stands out for me as the funniest, because it was pure chaos. There were different moments of difficulties, personal moments of difficulties, when I was pushed into situations outside of my comfort zone, like arriving in Wellington and realizing I had to share a room with 30 other people sleeping on a dirty mattress with no sheets in a room which was full of cobwebs, where I had to really work hard to not leave and find a hotel. Difficult moments of lack of sleep, and then other moments when there were internal difficulties in the team. I was so disappointed and frustrated at moments that I was crying, because I couldn't believe that that difficulties could be so extreme. And what else, you know? There was a moment when two of the members of the team were asked to make their own way on the march, because, well, for different reasons. It was very difficult to incorporate these two people in the team. But then, of course, they became very upset. It was very difficult for them. And they started to work against the World March. One person started to work against the World March, started to affect the reputation of the World March, tried to damage what the World March was trying to achieve. And this, for me, was a very difficult moment. You know, you've got thousands of volunteers working all around the world. These people have worked without money, without seeking any kind of recognition. And they don't want to hear that there's difficulties in the team. All they want to hear is that the march is fantastic and that it's brilliant, because it is. And it has been the most extraordinary thing, certainly in my life, and I think for most of the people who were involved in the World March. And so to hear about something which in reality is a small thing in the great scale of the whole World March, to have something which could be so small take up such a disproportionate amount of space in the people's attention, for me, was like a source of great frustration. So I think we did our best to resolve it, but you know, it still left a bad taste in the mouth at the end of the day. There were many moments. When we were in Japan, I was very much moved by this old lady who survived the atomic bomb, when she was saying, thank you for doing this World March for Peace and Nonviolence. It's so important what you're doing. And I felt like I really don't deserve these kind of thanks. You know, this woman who's been through so much pain and suffering, suffered so much discrimination because she was a victim of the bomb in her life. And there she is hugging us and saying, thank you. Yeah, that nearly made me cry. I was very much moved by that. And then yesterday in our final act, there were so many young people there so much energy was there, so much happiness and joy in these people, and they wanted to be part of this, and for them it's a hopeful thing for the future. And to stand there, and I had the fortune to be asked to speak, to make the crowd laugh, to hear the applause was also too much to take in, and I'm so happy for that experience, and it was beautiful. Clearly, most of the people that we've been working with in the World March are committed pacifists, environmentalists. They're committed to non-violence. We're all going in the same direction with these other organisers. So therefore the value is not in what you do with these people so much as what you do in the people who have never been to an event before, who they've never come to something for peace and non-violence. The concerts that we organised in Colombia, in Santiago, in Tucumán, in Buenos Aires, in the Czech Republic. All of these opportunities where we've had the chance to talk to people who are young and idealistic, and they want peace and they want a better world, and they hear this, just like I heard this message 20 years ago. I'm not alone. I'm not the only stupid person in the world who thinks it can be better. They can hear, they can feel something which resonates within them, and they can feel it's okay to be idealistic. A better world is possible. And hopefully with these people will be the next generation of activists and volunteers, and whether they work with World Without Wars, whether they work with environmental groups, Greenpeace, Amnesty, it doesn't matter so much. What matters so much is that we generate a groundswell of public opinion which will then influence the politicians, which will then do the right thing. And at the moment the politicians are not doing the right thing. So that for me is the value of the World March. And we're not going to see it next year, we'll see it in a few years' time.